Hello to another episode of No Stupid Questions, where we answer the small, stupid, insignificant questions that other people don't have the guts to answer. And that sounds like a better tagline, doesn't it, Alex?
Okay, but what was it last episode? Because I know it was different. I know it was different in the first episode also.
I genuinely don't remember.
You can see we care about our podcast a lot.
So, we've got a few questions for this one. In the Smash Bros. Smash Nintendo Direct thing starts in like an hour, so let's get right into it. Alex, give me your first question. I'm gonna put you on the spot. You go first. Do it, bitch.
Well, this stupid question is from Wool Wade. No, wait, actually, no. Fuck Wool Wade for a minute. Let me do my question. Mine's important. Tad, I'm sorry, Wool Wade, I love you. Tad, I actually thought about this at work the other day, right? I was in the bathroom, taking a leak, and that's when you always think of, like, the most introspective questions of the world, right? I thought of something. Tad, why is my pee-pee so much bigger than everybody else's?
Thank you for this, Alex.
Okay, now let me get to my actual question.
That you've given me.
Now let me go to my actual question. So from Wool Wade here, bringing him back. To a bird, what's a plane? A shiny flying elephant? And I actually know the answer to that. I actually know it. It's a free suicide booth to take down as many people as possible with your own suicide. As a fucking bird, a goose just goes right into the fucking jet propeller and kills everybody.
That's how I want to go out. Taking as many people down with me as I can.
You can't say that in 2019!
Here's the real question, Alex. So, I'm a bird. I'm a goose, because I'm just a fucking shitty creature. So I'm a goose. Can birds look up? Their eyes are like such weird spots. I don't imagine a bird has to look up very often. But if there's a plane above me, would a bird even see it?
Okay, so the way birds look is because they don't like turn their eyes like we do. They turn like their whole head. If you ever see like pictures of like mostly with ducks, you'll notice it because there's always cute duck pictures on the internet. Oh, like turning to the side, they're technically getting a better look at you by turning their head to the side. Because birds have eyes on the sides of their heads because it's an evolutionary trait where prey has eyes on the sides of their heads and predators have eyes on the front of their head. If you didn't know that, there's a little fun fact for you.
If it's on the sides of your head, then you could see a bigger angle around you, I think.
Yeah, and keep yourself safe. But birds will just kind of tilt their head into a certain direction, and they can look up. And the actual answer, by the way, is it's basically a big flying building to them. They can't comprehend that they don't know if it's alive or not. It's no different than all the buildings they sit and shit on. It's just a big flying building. It's
just really high up.
Yeah.
Here's another question, though, about burbs. How high can a bird fly? Like, so let's say, geese can fly within airplane range, I guess, right? That's the main one. But like, how high can a bird go before they just stop?
Well, that depends on the bird. Some birds fly way higher. Like, you'll never see a hummingbird go that fucking high. But you'll see geese and fucking, like, ducks and shit flying, like, way high up in the air. You'll see fucking flocks of geese. You'll see fucking, like, sparrows and shit super high up. With
Migratory
that fucking
birds.
Or, albatrosses, I think, fly super fucking high out in the fucking ocean. A lot of the birds that have to go, like cross-country go really fucking high. But a lot more, like... It's not environmental, but more like small area birds. What would I call that? Things in
residential birds.
Well, yeah, but even if they live in like a forest, something that it's in like a small like a few mile radius will never fly that high. They usually fly
terrestrial bird.
That's it. They'll fly within like treetop range. Get it? Yeah. It all just depends on the bird itself.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. I imagine like a hummingbird also like they expend a lot of fucking energy flying. Like if a hummingbird just decided to go up, it'd probably get to a certain point it's really tired and then like fall down and then just die because it can't break its fall.
Well, no, Ted, it has to eat every 10 minutes or it dies.
Just like me. So I got a question here from Ross Jones. How do plants prevent inbreeding? So this took me down a whole fucking rabbit hole. Does a plant even have the concept of inbreeding? How does this work? What the fuck's going on? So I've been thinking about it for like a week, and I found a few different answers. There's a botanic chastity belt, which is a fucking gross term. Thank you, sciencemag.org. Basically, what plants will do is if they receive pollen from themselves or from a very, very close relative, like someone who came from the previous generation, they have these enzymes in them which if you don't remember what an enzyme is, it's like this weird like protein molecule or something.
It's like this
that,
goop, right?
well, enzymes are in like, you have enzymes in your stomach. What enzymes do is that if there's some reaction that has to happen, an enzyme will speed it up like over 1 million times faster than the natural reaction would take. And they also don't expend themselves and they do it, so they'll just like do it. It's weird. Enzymes are crazy. I'm not a body scientist. But plants have these enzymes that'll go up there and then basically just fuck those things up until they're not usable anymore, so that the plant doesn't accidentally accept this pollen and make another generation of plants that's all fucked up and doesn't have things working, because for whatever reason it's incompatible.
That's actually an interesting thing, though. Like, what would happen if plants even like inbred? Like with like us and like mammals and shit, we see what happens is that we get kind of like can I say the word retarded? Because we get kind of retarded.
It's because of the chromosomes.
It literally fucks up like mammals if you inbreed. But like plants don't have brains, right? Like they're just plants. So what actually, like if you were to force it to happen, what happens if you inbreed a plant?
So if you just keep showering the plants in like inbred fucked up like Arkansas pollen, eventually it'll get through. Either the things it produces, the seeds that it produces, either won't make it to maturity to the point where like it could actually get carried off. You know, like we'll use a dandelion as the example. It'll have 100 seeds around it, and a good majority of those they're just not going to work. There's going to be things that are wrong with them that stop them from growing properly, or they won't have proper defenses. And then the ones that do work, and for whatever reason, they actually do go through and things work. Okay, the plant, the seed went off, it caught in the air, it, flew all over the place. It planted itself 10 feet over there, and now it grew. Plant works. Okay, it seems pretty fine. But if you keep that going, so you keep them all together and they all keep pollinating each other, they don't have genetic diversity anymore, and you end up like bananas. These plants that are just all inbred are pretty close to just basically being clones. They won't adapt to anything new. So back in the 50s, there were these bananas that were called gros michel bananas. They had very, very thick hides. Are they hides or shells on a banana? What are they called?
Peels?
God damn it, they are peels, aren't they? Fuck.
Yes.
I was sitting here agonizing over that for like an hour, and it's fucking peels.
Well,
I even have literally the next sentence I have written down is, those are the bananas used in cartoons. And I couldn't fucking remember they're called banana peels. Fuck.
Nice.
Anyway, a gros michel banana is like a super fucking creamy banana. And it was allegedly like super fucking tasty. And allegedly, I saw a bunch of people claim this, but I could not find a source on it. Older candy, banana flavored, is supposed to taste like a gros michel, but I don't believe that. That's too that's too much of an easy answer for me. But what happened with these gros michel bananas? Well, first off, I found out why bananas were used in like old cartoons. It's because as soon as they started decomposing and getting all brown, they'd get really fucking slippery. That's why bananas now, they don't do it as much, because they have much thinner peels. Because we have these shitty bananas called cultivar bananas. But the reason we have these shit bananas that we have now is because there was a disease called the Panama disease, which was a fungus infection that fucked over these gros michel bananas 6 ways from Sunday. Because 99% of these bananas had no resistance to the Panama disease. Because they wouldn't, these plantations would just have gros michel bananas, because those are the ones that sold. So there would be no cross-pollination between them to help them adapt and gain resistances to things.
Interesting.
So yeah, they're not extinct, but you can't grow a big-ass plantation of them anymore because it's just going to get infected because they have no defense against it. So you can get them, Like if you can't get them shipped to like the United States or Britain or anything like that, you'd have to go to like China and Taiwan and all those places where they just grow them there. But that'd be the only way you can get a gros michel right now. So once they were wiped out, the folks in the big fuck you people in the banana industry, which we call them banana heads in our community.
Nice.
They would just went with the because they kept trying a bunch of different bananas, but all of them just kept getting infected with the Panama disease. So we got the garbage like bottom of the barrel bananas we have now because those ones were immune to it. So that was all that was left.
That's interesting.
But that's how you stop
inbreeding
inbreeding plants. Another thing is that there are certain plants that will intentionally inbreed. They'll do it usually it'll be themselves pollinating. Like peanuts. Peanuts are the big example. Peanuts will pollinate themselves because it's more like a once it's pollinated, it grows the it's not berry. A peanut's not a berry. It grows its bullshit. It's bullshit fruit. Just and then the fruit has, you know, the seeds and all that. So it'll pollinate itself, which it'll have the male part of the plant will just shower like the plant jizz onto the female part of itself to then pollinate, grow bullshit, and there you go.
I'm imagining like peanuts are just like hermaphrodites fucking themselves.
I mean, it's basically that, yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't expect that question to be as interesting as well. That was actually very interesting. Professor Tad over here talking about plant jizz.
What I'll do with a question is like, I'll start with a question. It's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then I'll be typing stuff out. And if there's anything in there that I'm like, well, like I was going to just stop that at bananas. And I'm like, well, wait, wasn't there a fucking thing about bananas being clones or something? And then I just keep going from there.
Well,
because I'm here to educate and entertain. I'm here to edutain.
Well, I'm more on the entertainment side, as you can see with my very not as interesting question from Connor Calarco. Yeah, Connor Calarco. Ahem. He asks, why don't women talk to me? Now you see, Connor, it's because you're a fucking loser, Connor. Okay, I shouldn't say that, that's mean. The reason, Connor, is probably because oh god, I can't think of an answer that isn't really mean. In retrospect, this was probably a bad idea. Connor, just be yourself.
Be yourself.
Just
the
Minecraft
B stands for be. The E stands for especially.
Just Minecraft be yourself.
How?
How?
So women probably don't talk to you because you are
ugly?
No, not necessarily. There's ugly people I know. They're not successful in life because they're ugly.
No, hang on. See, you gotta understand, Ted. Yes, there are plenty of, like, let's say, conventionally unattractive people who are, like, married and have, like, girlfriends and shit. No. It's why don't women talk to him, as in why don't they initiate the conversation? And that is probably because you're ugly. Like,
no, not necessarily.
Girls are a little pickier. They'll accept you if you ask them, but girls don't, generally speaking, initiate, like, romantic involvement, like things like that. Like, they're the ones who are waiting for you to come to them, right? So the reason women aren't talking to you, like, first is because maybe you're, as Futurama said, you're lumpy and you smell awful. No, okay, I'm sorry. No, I don't actually hate you, Connor. You're fine. No, please don't stop crying, Connor. I'm sorry. Like, just, you had to talk to them first. I assume you're, like, a teenager or something. So, like, if you want women's attention, just, like, spice yourself up, look pretty. Like, do your hair, give a nice smile, clean up, and go talk to them. That's what you gotta do. Like, be presentable. You
gotta walk right up to her, look her in the eye, and give her a firm handshake. You fucking boomer piece of shit.
And, no, Ted, there's this fucking picture I sent you that you didn't fucking look at of this nasty, Connor, I'm not talking about you right now. There's this kid, of this, like, teenage kid, who had like this nasty greasy hair and like a couple zits on like his cheek, like and like the big nose. He looked like the white incel like school shooter like look, right? He just looked nasty, and he told people on Reddit, "Hey, maybe you guys should stop being incels and try cleaning yourself up. Here's a step-by-step on how to do it." He cut his hair, he did his hair up a little bit, like washed his face until like the pimples went away, and then finally try smiling once in a while, and he looked so much better. Actually just try to make yourself presentable, because this is gonna sound mean, but what you look like is pretty much 90% of you. How do you express yourself, whether it's through your clothing or through your look, says a lot about you. Outward attractiveness actually does reflect your inner attractiveness in a little way. Like, if I see, say, a Smash Bros. Player who is really fat, hairy, and has a bunch of zits, I can tell that that guy doesn't take very good care of himself, so how the fuck can I expect him to care about anything else if he can't even care about his own body?
That's actually very true. If you do not put in the effort into yourself, like, bare minimum, the thing people should care about should be themselves. You should always try to make yourself happy or make yourself look good or whatever it is that makes you happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like, if you go and you get a nice haircut or you dress up real nice, like, oh, look, I look pretty good. I feel good about myself for a bit. You know, that's important to people as a whole, to feel good about ourselves.
Just be yourself, bro. And by be yourself, I mean be a positive person and try. Again, you don't have to be hot. You have to make the effort.
Be someone better than the weird, greasy person you are right now. You can self-improve. You just have to have the ability to look at yourself back. Hey, you know what? Maybe I should cut these nasty ass greasy bangs. Maybe I should. Oh, here's a fun fact. I didn't find this out till I was 23. You're supposed to wash your pillowcases like every 2 weeks.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I did not.
Yeah, I'll stop.
I did not know you were supposed to wash your pillowcases that often.
When you just like sleep on your fucking, because like when you sleep, you secrete shit. Even if like you didn't like do anything in the day, you just say you sat in like perfect air conditioning, you didn't sweat a drop, you still secrete oil when you sleep, because human beings are just fucking disgusting for some reason. So
it makes sense now, yes, but it just never occurred to me until I was 23 years old.
I mean, it's like how
my mom didn't teach me a lot of life skills.
It's like how I said in the earlier episode, where until I was 20, didn't know black people could really get hurt by the sun. I just kind of thought they were like resistant to it. Just kind of made sense, you know? But anyway. So yes, Connor and the people who are like Connor, you don't have to look hot. You just have to show that you care about yourself, show that you try, and also be a positive person. Like, smile and be nice and kind rather than be a sarcastic asshole. Positive traits. Attractive, upbeat, charming, not rude, nasty, slouches, eats glue. Like, it sounds pretty obvious. Be a good person, but I have to give the specifics so some people don't get that. Anyway,
be a good person without the expectations of getting something back in return.
Because
then you end up like my friend who posts on Facebook complaining that he doesn't have a girlfriend, that he's such a nice guy. Don't be like him.
Also, saying that you're just nice is boring. Women hate that. You should be nice. That should be the baseline. You have to have more of a personality than just your kind. That's just a part of it, being positive. You know what I mean? You have to be a complete human being. It's really that easy. Anyway, what's your next question?
So we just fucking roasted Connor.
Rip
So
Connor.
My next question here is from Nope McPerson. His question is, what does a producer do? Well, the number one thing that a producer should try to do is try to stop other people on the show from directly insulting people. So, you know, I'm not being a great producer right now.
Hey, Connor, I love you. I'm sorry.
Please smash the like button.
Connor, please hit that bell. Forgive me.
So, okay. So a producer, I'm going to be talking about this in terms of like movies. So a producer is someone who,
produces.
So here's a movie that needs to be made by a studio. And they tell a producer, hey, we want to make this movie. The producer is someone who gathers the tools and people necessary to bring a product to fruition. They're there from the start with the money gathering process, pitching it to the higher up people, getting the outlines of like everything from cinematography to the script to the actors. He's with the entire project from A to Z, providing the financial supports, other kinds of support, and the connections to make a thing happen.
He's the glue that holds them all together.
He's the glue that holds everything together for these K role players, who then drink that glue because it gives them a speed boost. So it's not an exact list of like if there was a list of like, what does a producer do? A producer does A, B, and whatever. It's different for each kind of thing. Like for Sit Boys, I was a producer for you can have producers / directors. That's usually what's like James Cameron and who's the guy that did E.T. and Jurassic Park?
Steven
He's like
Spielberg.
A big famous guy. Yeah, Steven Spielberg is a producer-director. That just means that he did all the producing roles, but also was on set to direct the actual creative vision of the movie. A normal producer will just say, I want to get this director. He's going to handle all of this. He's going to handle all of that. A good example I saw online comparing it is like a professional sports team. A director, an actor, script, screenwriter, yada, yada, yada. Those are all the players. Those are the ones that are putting in the effort to actually make things work. A director is like the team coach. The coach is showing them exactly, this is how we need to do it. This is what we got to do. A producer is like a team manager. The person who handles the brand, who gets hired, who gets fired, things like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's doing all the background stuff that's really important but goes relatively unnoticed by, like, me and you.
That's why at the Oscars, it's usually a producer who will accept the Oscar for a movie. The biggest thing that they do, though, is that they are tied to the money that you need. So they have to keep the studios happy. They have to keep, they don't necessarily have to keep the people making the movie happy because they're getting paid. So you can kind of ignore them if you really wanted to and not be a very good director or a very good producer. But generally they have to keep a lot of people happy and make a product that sells and makes money and isn't garbage, which is hard. For Sit Boys, I was a producer because I had to fund it all. I was with it from the start to the end, with the script, with, I guess, actors. I guess everyone involved as Sit Boys qualified as an actor. All that. That's what a producer does. Executive producer, I'll be honest, I think it's just one step above a normal producer, and they're just like inside the MGM Studios offices because it's the same kind of shit.
Interesting. I did actually know most of that. I knew that they were behind like the money and shit. That was like the important part. Because a lot of money you're handling, especially like say those Marvel movies where you're handling like hundreds of millions. It's a very big responsibility.
Yeah, like producers will also like, if you're making a movie, they handle the rights acquisition. Because let's be honest, if you're making a movie, you're not making an original movie anymore. You're adapting something, so they get the rights to do so. So I got one more question. I want to do one more, and then you can do another.
Okay, I have a couple, actually. They're short,
okay, then
though.
you can go. You can go.
Okay, so Scotsman's Productions ask, why are skeletons so funny?
Fuck, that's a good-ass question.
So I was worried that you were going to say that, so I wanted to steal it from you.
I was going to save it for October, though.
Oh, well, we're asking it now because it's cute. So, there is an actual answer for why skeletons are funny. So, a long time ago, someone made a meme called Spoopy Skeletons. The end. That's why they're funny. Okay, so there's a more in-depth answer to that. There's a more in-depth answer to that. So, the reason skeletons... Because they've been funny like in cartoons and shit for a long time. It's that skeletons are... How do I say this? Relatively weak. Have you ever seen... I can't believe I'm going to bring this up. Have you ever seen Scary Movie?
Yes, I have.
Where she's like, the girl screams like, what are you screaming for? They're just bones. They're just bones. She like smacks it and it falls apart. They're just bones. Like, skeletons
they are the bottom of the totem pole of scary. Because it's like, you know what's really scary? Dying is kind of scary. But that's like an existential kind of fear. You know what's a good representation of that? spooky, scary skeletons.
And it also helps that in a lot of old cartoons, you would always have skeletons do goofy things. You've seen the old, like, fuck, I know it's kind of like a style. Should I just say old-timey? Old-timey cartoons, like, fucking playing xylophones with their rib cages and shit. Or even, like, Corpse Bride had that whole fucking, like, thing where all the skeletons were singing and shit. Skeletons managed to, despite being literally base skeletons of humans, they're literally, like, the default. They don't even have, like, eyebrows to do expressions. They manage to have a lot of personality to them because you can actually do a lot with a skeleton that you can't necessarily do with others. You might have to,
I'm just picturing, like, you know how a skeleton will take its ribs and then go like,
yeah.
Just someone taking like billy clubs and beating his chest.
Fucking,
it's scary.
Like, so with an animation, you can kind of flub it a little bit. Like, you can kind of make his, like, skull, like, have eyebrows, like, fuck with people. But, like, the thing is that they manage to be... You can, like, give them, like, ripped up clothing, make them scary. They can be so much. They're versatile. They can be both scary in air quotes and be, like, fodder enemies in a video game, but also be really funny, charismatic, like, meme characters. Like that stupid red skeleton from that video that I can't quote, but you know the one.
Yeah, or like the skeletons in oh god, what's it called? It was Jason and the Argonauts. They were like the claymation skeletons. Oh god, oh fuck, I forget the name of it. I don't know. It was like the Odyssey or something. I don't know. It had like Medusa in it, but they were these little claymation skeletons that would just go like yeah, click click. They would just click and clack while raising things and then exploding in one hit because they don't fucking do anything. Skeletons are weak. It's funny.
Yeah, so they managed to be threatening fodder, but because they're so weak, like there's like a Goomba that you can just kind of like kick them and they're just dead immediately. That they don't scare you. You just kind of like, oh, here come the bones. You start fucking slapping them. So that's
zombies
why.
are one step up because they still have enough flesh where it's like, whoa, hey, this looks like a person again. That's kind of dead. That's a little bit scary.
But also,
there's a separation between a person and a skeleton that lets you not look at them as a living person anymore.
And also because there's meat on a zombie, they can be more grotesque. You can have like their guts hanging out and shit. You can have like blisters and shit, you know?
Yeah.
You can't do that with a skeleton unless you like make them like, I don't know, have like a couple of meat like dripping things. Like I don't know, again, it doesn't really work.
You can give them osteoporosis.
But before I go to the next question, I have to remind everybody, if you're ever uncomfortable sleeping at night, remember, it's just the skeleton inside you trying to break free.
He's trying to take, your teeth? That's part of your skeleton. He's just trying to rip your mouth open to get out of there.
Okay, so another one.
Last thing about skeletons. Biggest contributing factor in recent years is the spooky, scary skeletons meme. That's it. It's become embedded with us, our generation, as being goofy.
Yeah, I opened with that.
I know, but I'm closing with it, bitch.
Oh, dude, fucking dab. All right, so this one's a long one, but it's a really good one. I want to make sure I got it. All right, so Rue has a question for us. Ahem. So here's a real brain buster for you, bros.
We both chose this question.
Oh, fuck you. Say you own a business, and you're required to purchase toilet paper for your employees to use. Would it be more cost efficient to purchase one-ply toilet paper and have your employees use twice as much than it would be to just buy two-ply? So, Rue, there's a King of the Hill episode just like that, but with about flushing toilets instead of toilet paper. And it is more cost efficient to get two-ply because it ultimately saves you more in the long run, but also... So you can think, like, technically it's two at once, right? So technically you think it's the same, right? No. It's better for both your wallet because, like... It's weird to explain without getting, like, really gross, but two-ply roll...
How much poop can I snatch?
I was going to say, two-ply roll actually kind of catches more shit, so you technically use less of it in the grand scheme of things. But also, because you're technically using less, like, say, like, I don't know, square by square, you have a lower potential of clogging your toilet, thus saving you more time in, like, repairs. So it's more cost efficient to get two-ply, but only in the long run. Say you're only, like, on like, a camping trip where you're only gonna be, like, for a month, then just use fucking one-ply, who cares? But you're running, like, a full-on, like, Walmart for, like, 10 years, then two-ply would save you more money in the grand scheme of things.
See, alright, so let me tell you about offices. Number one, I'm not required to give you shit.
You've got hands.
But really, this question made me think of Remember that one Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends episode?
I just thought of that. Oh my god, yes. You're only allowed to use 2 sheets. Just like 1, 2, 3. Oh, damn, those rabbit ears.
I never understood that episode. Like, is that what people do? Do they just take, like, squares?
I have never met a single... I take the whole thing kind of like crump it into a ball. I don't know, like, what else... I'm gonna
What you do is you just, like, you roll it once, maybe once and a half, around 4 fingers, and then you have, like, a square, and then you just take that square.
Okay, alright, everybody. That's nice.
There's just someone whacking weeds outside.
Well, that's a leaf blower that time. Oh boy, it's 3 p.m.
Boomer. Anyway, so yes, you take it.
Oh, but I have a really
put your hands out like you're gonna karate chop.
I'm getting boomered so hard. I had something interesting to say.
You're gonna have to hold it, Mr. Man. So you take your hand like you're gonna karate chop your own butt, right? And you put the paper around it, 1, maybe 1.5 if it's looking pretty sketch, and then you use that. Now, would you do it over? Now, Alex, you're not one of those undersided people, are you? With the toilet roll?
Oh no, I do over easy. Over is so much better because when you have it under, it just kind of like falls down on its own. You know, it looks bad.
I'm chaotic evil. I just have like those brown rolls just sitting on a wet countertop.
Okay. So he's gone. I have to say this. Now that the fucking leaf blower boomer is gone. All right. So, question for all the fans out there. Yes, I'm bringing this up in the episode.
Poop talk.
How do you wipe your ass? All right. Now, are you like Tad, where you take the sheets and fold them like a fucking prissy ass rich kid, and then crush up your ass, or are you a low class Chad like me, and just gotta take a wad and like clump it into like a ball? All right, just kind of like get a hand on that, right?
But it's like a ball, won't it? Like, oh, that's disgusting.
I'm a waste, Chad. All right. Where I had like the big ball of it, and it's pretty much only like a little bit of the toilet is actually covered in shit. Yeah, I think that's time to get rid of that. See, for me, no matter what ply of toilet paper you're using, I'm wasting all of it. Thanks for the free money, Walmart. Boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I poop on company time. So yeah, that's my question to all of you. How do you wipe your ass? There, I hope I increase the quality of your content, Tad.
There's I keep seeing an ad on Facebook for like the Charmin Forever roll, where it's a toilet paper roll that's like 2 feet. Like the circumference of it is like 5 feet. It's fucking huge. I don't know how. Like, if I walked into my bathroom at work and I walk in there and I go, oh, I'm gonna blow it up. Like, and then I see that, I don't understand. Like, you have to like purchase like a hat rack to put it onto. Because you can't just put that in the little inlet in the wall, right? And it's not going to fit on like your normal one if it sticks out.
Okay. So what you said reminds me of a story at work. Yes, I can't believe we're going to go so far. Thank you, Rue.
This is a high quality podcast. We're going to talk about poop for another 10 to 15 minutes.
Hey, this is really funny. So remember that guy I was talking about who told me that he the black guy who informed me that black people can still get sunburn, right? One of my CSMs. Well, I was in the bathroom taking a shit, on company time, of course, and I hear him walk in, and he's talking to the employees like, oh, because he has like a thick African accent, so I'm gonna try to butcher it, like, oh, you better get out of here, I'm about to destroy this toilet. And I'm just sitting there, so I go, nice. Because it was so funny, because the way he talked and said it was so goddamn hilarious.
There was someone I worked at with Cracker Barrel. I had two coworkers. One was the Jamaican guy. The other one was a Mexican guy. And I could not understand either one of them. Their accents were so thick.
Okay.
I never went to the bathroom with either of them. So I imagine it would have played out pretty funnily.
Okay. So I have 2 more questions. One that's really short and one that's actually really interesting. So... the short one is from Aurora Borealis. Do Australians know they're upside down, or are they just adjusted to it because they're born there? And there actually is an answer to that. You wouldn't expect that. So, the short answer is yes. The long answer is, why, yes. Have you ever heard of the Incas?
Yes.
So the Incas, a long, long time ago, had this capital city, Cusco, I think it was. Yes, his name is like the guy from Emperor's New Groove is like named after the city. I want to say their capital is Cusco. Whatever it was way, way, way up in the mountaintops. That's where they lived. And their bodies, after being there for so long, adapted to having less oxygen. So when the Spanish came by, as the Spanish always do to kind of like take over the joint, they couldn't stand the altitude of living up there with the Incas, so they had to move the capital city from Cusco to some other city that I forget the name of off the top of my head, some other Inca name. So, yes, Australians are naturally adapted to being upside down. And another fun fact about human adaptation like that is that, you know, Polynesians, aka islanders, right? Like Hawaiians and like...
only via Bionicle.
Well, Polynesians, that's a technical term you'd call them. Because even though they're all like in different like islands, it's kind of like Native Americans, right? Like they all have different tribes, but you still call them Native Americans as a whole, right? With Polynesians, like they're all different like islands, but you still call them like the one thing. Polynesians actually have adapted to eating less calories in food because they live on islands. All they eat is like fucking like back in before we all like sailed and found them, they pretty much just ate like fucking bananas and pineapples and like fish and shit, right? They didn't eat that much. So
not very high calorie dense food.
Yeah. So they have a huge like they withhold calories more. That's it. And so that's why now in the future, Polynesians have the highest obesity rate out of any race on the planet. They have a 95% obesity rate. Because
Holy
now that,
fuck.
Yeah, because, and you know, off the top of my head, you know what's his name? The Hawaiian guy that had the ukulele that played Over the Rainbow?
Yeah, the one who, the fucking, oh god, I don't know
Over
his
the
name,
Rainbow
but yeah,
guy.
he did, Over the Rainbow, but he's like 600 pounds.
Yeah, it's because, he was also had the misfortune of not only being like an islander, but also having, like, a thyroid problem. Literally the deadliest combination next to the elephant, man. So, what happened is, because, like, you have all these tourists and shit, and, like, you know, they put up all those businesses and shit all over every, like, island ever, because every island's just so beautiful. Now they have access to really cheap food at huge amounts. So you know that food is really fattening. So now you have the deadly combination of they withhold calories really hard, but also way too much high-calorie food. So that's why they have a 95% obesity rate. Their adaptation is now, like, their greatest weakness.
That's actually pretty crazy. I did not know that at all. But how does Mata Nui fit into all of this?
Well, so you know D-Day, right? You know when, like, not D-Day, fucking the Rapture, right? Where the Lord knows. That's Mata Nui. He's gonna wake up and, like, rise out of the ocean. All the people
what
in the
you're
alley
saying is it's going to be time for us Bionikies, as we refer to ourselves in our community, to rise the fuck up. Are you calling for the Bionicle race war, Alex?
I'm calling for the Bionicle Rapture.
Can I quote you on this?
All right, so the last question, because you don't have any more, right?
I will give you the last question. I do have another question. I will gracefully give you this one because I'm such a generous fucking producer.
All right, this one
I'm
is
like
from
Epstein. I'm a producer.
Yikes! Oof.
Or no, Weinstein. He was a producer.
Well, that's still a yikes. Wasn't he also still a pedophile?
It's fine. Whatever. He just liked feet.
Oh, right. He's that guy. Yeah, he's that guy. All right. From Mike Laster. One question.
The Laster Blaster.
Fitting name that he's the last question. Why does Sonic have the fan base that it does? Why? So that's actually very interesting. So, I like Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not like a super duper like Sonic-y. Like, I don't have like every game, but I like Sonic. He's fun. He's cool. I like the music a lot.
Uh-huh.
And there's an interesting thing with how the characters work and they're interpreted by people that's very interesting. Because you could have, like, normal people would just assume that it's popularity. That, like, the bigger you are, obviously, the more chances for, like, crazy people to be, like, in your group is. But, like, Mario doesn't have nearly as many weirdos.
My original fan brother.
Yeah, you don't have that as often as you do in Mario. Like, there's obviously still cringy people in like Mario, but also Mario is literally like the whole world, so like, duh. Like, he's almost too big to the point, like, you just kind of go like, oh yeah, whatever. With Sonic, there's two big factors that apply Actually, there's three big factors that apply to this. There is how it tells its story, the fact that they're furries, and finally, their character designs being incredibly simple to understand. Not necessarily draw, that's part of it, but to read. So, I'll go with that one first, because it's a simple one. So, Sonic characters have very big eyes and very wide expressions. And this is an important factor. This is actually, I'm just going to sound mean, but this is why anime is also so popular with a lot of, let's say, not socially well-adjusted people.
Gamers.
Autists. So the reason for that is, the genuine thing, is because autism has a thing where it's hard for you to understand and, like, read people's, like, emotions and, like, feelings and shit, right? So with anime, and this also applies to Sonic, you'll have characters have really wild, like, big eyes, big mouths, and really wild expressions. It was really big in the 90s, not so much now. But you know how, like whenever there's a joke or a pocket, they all, like, fall down, right? That's a stupid little gimmick, but, like, even someone who has autism gets that, right? Even he can understand that. When normally, like, just a character being, like rolling their eyes or being pissed off might go over his head. So that's why that it works that way. And also another thing that helps with anime is characters kind of explain everything. There's not a lot of interpretation going on in anime. Whereas where this is really big in shonen anime.
Popular animes.
This is big in the shonen anime genre because it's mostly for kids. But shonen anime is really popular with autistic people. So they still kind of go hand in hand. We're like, oh man, I can only use this, like, special attack like 3 times, and I have to monologue this to make sure that you completely understand this. Like, you know, that shit. And it makes it easy for them to get, because it's primarily for children, but, like, you know, an autist would naturally connect to that, right? So Sonic works the same way, where Sonic's writing is also kind of, like, not subtle. It's very over the head on you. Combined with the fact that they have really wide furry emotions that are easy to read, and then finally the fact that they're furries, all connects together for one big blend of autism. Now, I'm just gonna say it, as a guy, I can't remember if I can say this out loud, as a guy who was in there, who is in the Star Fox community, as a guy who was in there, I've been in the thick of that. I've talked to many people in that, and we talked to that briefly in one of the really old episodes.
You've seen the documentaries.
Yeah, you've seen footage of the people that are in the furry community that I've known and interacted with. A lot of them are very spurgy. And that is because, I'm just going to say it, and that is because they apply themselves to a kink, you know, where like, what they are is like a sexual thing, which is not necessarily nice to talk about. Healthy, I guess, is a good way to say it. So, with Sonic the Hedgehog being a furry thing, and having this serious plot, much like kind of how Star Fox kind of went into, you now have people who have these simple characters who are cartoony and easy to read, a plot that thinks it's way too deep and serious. Like, you have Shadow the Hedgehog's like super fucking edgy, right? You have all this rebellious nature. He's like got a gun. He's like, fuck you, Eggman. Damn. It's trying to be like super serious, but he still looks like Shadow the fucking Hedgehog, right? He still looks really cartoony. And the fact that he's furry. So it's a big combination factor. So, and then they're easy to draw. So you have all these people drawing, like, my Sonic the Hedgehog, Bloodshot the Hedgehog, Bloodshot the Echidna or whatever, fucking Dick Butt the Fart Hog. You got all these fucking, I just made something up. I'm pretty sure that exists. You have all these people jumping in on this. And then it also kind of creates a herd thing where, like, 1 or 2 people did it. Now I want to do it. Now I want to do it. And so, you know, have all these people jumping on this stupid autistic ass shit. Because it's just so
easy and inviting to be able to do.
Yes. That is why, Mr. Laster, that is why it is as bad as it is. Also, the game's not being all that great kind of helps too. Sonic Team, could you, like, try harder, please?
Okay, I mean, that's pretty good. I really didn't know much. Like, my guess for why Sonic would have been popular would have been just in, like, I guess because he's an animal, and then I guess just popularity of an animal character, I guess. But yeah. I mean,
in the right ballpark, it's just a little more detailed.
And most of this also applies directly to My Little Pony with bronies. Thank God they're dying out.
I mean, he's not wrong. The only people who are still connected to NLP are the people who are, like, so deep into it that they just, like, refuse to give up.
They've lost themselves.
Yeah, they just. Lost fallen ones.
Fall into the pony wiles. Was that your last question there, Alex?
Yeah, from Laster. The last question from Mike Laster. The last one. The final one.
Anyway, so I have one more question.
Fuck
from
you.
Chrome Carcinogeno. Which came first, Ranch or Cool Ranch?
Fuck
The answer's
you.
Ranch. Good night, everybody.
Ah!
All right, you can find the podcast on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. Alex, here you could say your shill thing. Do it.
Say the line, Alex. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Ask us your questions that which somebody pointed out, actually totally fucks the algorithm because we're technically asking for a lot of questions or asking for a lot of comments. And make sure when you adapt to the change of the YouTube algorithm and hit that bell to help the channel grow.
I hate it, Alex.
I hate so much.
Twitter, Discord, Patreon. I tried really hard this entire month to try and think of like a cool Patreon reward for a podcast. Because before we were doing the questions of the month, but like, I feel like doing that now would devalue it. So I'm still trying to think of what to do for that. So if anyone has any ideas, you can put. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm out of them. I don't know what I can do. I don't know what I can reasonably do.
Generally, give us a hand. We're not smart. We fucking
Please, I'm desperate. I need interactions. So, thanks for listening. And remember, we answer the dumb, inconsequential questions that no one else has the guts to answer. I don't know. That's what I'm going with right now. We'll see if that changes by the end of the next episode.
Nice.
Nice.